All right, truth seekers, it is officially hump day, and that will be a Wednesday for most of you. And I don't know if your week started on Monday like everyone else, but it is one day after yesterday, which is Tuesday. And so it's going to consider to be hump day. And first and foremost is I'm going to get right into this dialogue of conversation. And I've been harping on this quite some time, but I'm sure a lot of you are noticing that there has been a lot of chatter that's coming down the pipeline about some revelation and some UFO revelations. And I keep bringing it up because it is a topic, and me being in the loop, being with the context that I have, and also, being a UFO investigator, all these things, then I think it's rightfully that you want to hear some of this stuff from me. And why? Because I'm your guy, right? And I've been here doing this thing, and the privilege of us as a community having this direct connect could mean a lot if you decide that it has some value to you. And also to validate those things, let me just kind of put it to you like this. Of course, again, you've seen Regina Meredith. I've been on her show and she's brought me in beyond belief. George Norrie has thought my expertise was worth bringing into a TV show to Gaia. Then I went on to be, and I am a brand ambassador for Gaia. And then, of course, Discovery Channel hosting, Fox 2B, of course, on Forbidden Knowledge, Discovery, again, History Channel, Ancient Aliens, and the list goes on and on. And then, of course, as you know, I have a best-selling book, which you should go to roderickmartin.com and get you a copy so I can get you an autographed copy. And those of you who bought them this week, I'm putting them in the mail on Friday as well. And so it is very imperative that we continue this dialogue and conversation, and hopefully some of you decide to get into the chat, because people, there is something happening. Now, I'm going to bring some other stuff to your awareness today, 2 conversations with you today, so that you kind of know that this thing is big. And so I will start with the first step of saying, why the chatter? Why is the chatter that there's a lot of priests and people from the Vatican and different places calling priesthoods in, shaping or preparing to shape the story that comes down from the religious pipeline of what we should hear and what we should think when it comes down to the UFO or disclosure revelation or whatever's going to happen. Now, that's one side of the fence. But when I started looking up the ecosystem and who's behind this, why would someone want to change the narrative, and what's the implications of the narrative that there may be some type of disclosure? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm always saying that the whole root of disclosure is never going to go away, but they have to prepare us, and they have to prepare everyone in any types of form. So I would assume if they are going to reveal some alien form, it's going to look like us. It's going to be resembling us before they introduce the ones that don't look like us, right? And so therefore, it's going to be a progressive state that they put these things in. And so it is very good for us to understand. So for those of you in our community that has children or whatever, you're in the right place. You're in the right place to prepare their minds for what's going to be happening 20, 30 years on down the road that a lot of people is not going to be prepared for. And so I want you to really understand the value, and hopefully you begin to share these videos, share our live streams, because a lot of people do this in a constructive manner. There's a lot of people out there, they listen to some of them, but you don't have direct interaction with someone that is in the game. I'm in the game. And for those of you who are going to be here 2 days, Saturday, when we talk about these things in our round table and just open discussion, ask me everything you want to know privately that I can say that I won't say online. I'm going to talk to you about it on Saturday when we do our stuff. And hopefully you guys are going to come, or maybe or whatever. I'm sad to say we didn't get enough people to register on, or give us donations enough. I'm using that so that we set up the cameras and to give it a live feed, but maybe down the road we will do so. It's not that important for you to say or whatever. I'm just saying, have we had enough to fund that particular part of it, and you all can watch it from there. But that is the goal in the future. And it is happily that we're able to do these things real quickly, because we do have sponsors that are now going to sponsor our event. And one in particular here, you have to look at Make His Own Designs. And, I have a little emblem here. I just want to kind of show you that's their logo and brand, right? And I do have her product, and I've been using it and man, this stuff is really good. So I can't wait until you guys are able to do that. But just kind of give you an overview real quick. She has ancestral scents collections, unisex, they call the Illuminate, Peace, Abundance. And all of her products are crafted with the intention and reverence and capture the essence of each moon phase, drawing from the rich tapestry of ancient wisdom. Each fragrance is a journey into the heart and divine, and also a sensory experience, and connects you with the cycles of nature and power and the feminine spirit. So I'm all down with the feminine spirit because that's our colors and everything else. And like I said, I have a product here. I use it, and I think the shea butter and different stuff. This is some good stuff. I rub it on my legs. I do a lot of good stuff. So the website will be up for you all to be able to purchase her stuff, and we'll support that because she's supporting our venues and stuff too. And we're looking for a couple of more to do this. Well, let's continue. What I'm saying is they're talking about it, people. Now, I about aliens, the disclosure, how people are going to react, and how they want to cover the religious aspect of it. Now, somehow, some kind of way, I've always been ahead of the game through the spirits, through intuition, and all of these things to lead and have conversations either on time or ahead of time. And like I said, we're going to do our book club, and I started to go through this 800-page Nag Hammadi scriptures. Right, this is supposed to be the original scriptures and everything else. And one of the things that stuck out last night, which I thought was pretty interesting, I got to a part in here, they're talking about the archons, and this is original stuff. And I just want to read this to you real quickly. And they said archons are the rulers, right? And we talk about that. It said the rulers wanted to fool people. And since they saw people have a kinship with what is truly good. So really think about what they're saying. We have a kingship on this. Everybody got this thing that's good. And I'm going to back up to another scripture in here that they talk about. And this is the original text. And to give you the background, in the year of 1945, at the foot of a cliff at the Nile River at the city of Nag Hammadi, an Egyptian peasant unearthed a storage jar container that had these ancient manuscripts. And so over the years, people have tried to disciple them and everything else. But anyway, it says the rulers wanted to fool people, which we know the archons. It talks about Sophia and all that stuff in here. Great information, by the way. Now, listen to what they're saying in the ancient text. They took the names of good and assigned them into what is not good, to fool people with the names and link the names to what is not good. So as they are doing people a favor, which they're not, they take names from what is not good and transfer them to good in their own way of thinking. And for this, they wish to take the free people and enslave them forever. And if you go and see some of the words, they're talking about church and all this stuff, that how all this was devised and how all this stuff was to conquer and keep us into a different state. But to go back to good and not good, and these are the ancient texts. This is before religion. This is the divine stuff that we were supposed to learn. And it said light and darkness, life and death, right and left, or siblings. One of another is inseparable. And for this reason, good or not good, bad or not that bad, or not bad, and life is not life, and death is not death. Each will dissolve into original nature, but what is superior is the world cannot dissolve, for it's internal. Now, I'm not going to get into all of this, but what it's saying is that there is a shenanigan that doesn't happen that has got us to invert things. We are literally looking at things in our lives that says good is good and bad is bad and whatever. Now, why did I bring this part of the conversation up? And before I get to that, let me tell you a little part to what's happening. I was watching Candace Owens yesterday, and she was, and I watch her all the time. Great storyteller, one of the best investigative type things I like to watch. I love her personality, everything. I love it all. And we'll hope to have a show like that in years to come, right? I mean, the girl is just on point in everything. But she started talking, not just her, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, a lot of these top people are starting to talk about demonic entities and archons and all this showing up in these people that promote the company over there, or the country that's controlling our country. And she played a clip, and in that clip, there was a scene where you can see, and a lot of times people don't really understand when people are possessed, they do have the facial stuff. They do change. A lot of stuff will change right in your face. And she was like, look at this. And but to hear them, people like her with stature, with what we would call content or channel that are willing to step out on the fence and say things that are outside the norm, is lining up for what I'm about to share with you in a few minutes, what ties back into here, which also ties into tomorrow at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. We're going to do our SIGIL protection webinar, and a few of you have signed up for it. Bless you. And I'm going to use the words that they want us to use so it resonate with the ones who probably hadn't done it. People, what I'm about to share with you next and stuff like that, and the feeds that's going on, you need protection all across. And so that I'm going to leave it at that and just say, I'm doing my job. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And I'll hopefully you protect you. And if you feel that you do not need spiritual protection in the other unseen world, that is totally up to you. But they're already saying it, that was their plan to fool us from that. So going back to Candace Owens, she started talking about there's something coming down a pipeline that's going to happen in October of this year. Now, in the beginning, in the interim, you don't literally put what she says together with what they're talking about, the alien stuff. But then when you start thinking about the origin of those conversations, and we're talking about Israel and in different places, it gets you to begin to say, what are we talking about here? And as you see, the title in the video is, what if the aliens knock on your front door? Because it's like they're preparing us for the actual, hey, I'm here stuff, right? But not in the way that people think is going to happen. So when she started talking about these events, and then I start correlating the conversation with what we're hearing through the pipeline this year and next year, that there's going to be more of a revelation. Then I start listening to, all right, why are all these pastors and churches, and even Brother Yosef and I were just having a subtle conversation about that today. Why are all of a sudden Christianity and all these people are now talking about demons and talking about the aliens? It's like it's everywhere right now, like an organized event, right? And it's perfect for me. I've been doing this for a couple of years. So that means I'm in alignment for the future. Our content is going to pick up. Our information is going to grow because I'm connected in the pipeline. So again, stay tuned here. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. And come to our live events so you can get that energy and all these things. So anyway, so Candace started talking about these connections and my wheels are going off. I'm buzzing like, damn, coincidence is God's way of being anonymous, because there is no coincidence. And all of it is starting to start just making sense that there's a effort of organization, coordination. All of this is happening simultaneously while we are doing what we're doing, and got us focusing over here. Jordan Maxwell said it, right? Why they got us praying this way, they're doing it this way. In the text here, in this book, he says it explicitly that is what they're doing to us. So let's put that to the side. Back to Candace. So she started revealing that there's this big event, and there's this company who is going to provide this show thing that everybody's going to plug into coming in October. All of these churches are going to have a parking lot event, which is almost the time that something is about to reveal, and almost it's like they need to get on ahead of it. And then she revealed that Israel is spending $1 billion in the American media parking space. They have to report this because they're a foreign agent, right? And so that means propaganda is going to be at an all-time high, and they're going to be trying to dismiss it. Now, let's take it like this as a group. Over here, you got the pastor saying, all right, or priests saying, oh, if the aliens are gods or got a soul or whatever, Jesus is going to be their representative just as much as ours. You have people in the ufology world over here saying something is coming down a pipeline. Of course, they've been doing that for years, but it's getting a little more, you got the psychics talking. You got everybody's talking. You got government officials talking. You got J.D. Vance, vice president, saying, oh, getting ready. He's going to run on that, by the way. He's going to run on that next year or two. He's saying, oh, if they are real, then there are demons. All of a sudden, this stuff is coming out. Now, me saying, Roderick, you got your protection. You know how to do it. You know how to create your energy bar. And thanks for those of you who went to the Reptilian and the webinar that we did. Actually, we're going to do another one of them. And then the ones who got the CIA stuff that emailed me afterwards and did that, you are now in the perfect place. So now we starting to put all this together, that it's no coincidence here is where I'm going with this. And now let me drop a bombshell on you that I was talking about a few minutes ago. So Candace started revealing that Israel has partnered with a company, that this company is providing what they call a geofencing for mobile devices. That means we're already part of that now. They can track us, they can do all this stuff. And you're being tracked now with your iPhones, Android. Everybody's using geofencing. Just so happens that the company has to file with the government, because they are a foreign company, who they are and who they represent. Now, let me give you a sidebar. When Trump got into office and when he named Pam Bundy the new attorney general, they noted that the very first thing, the day she signed the job, 2 minutes later, approximately under 5 minutes, she signed a document to disband the investigation unit of what we call FARA, which is the Foreign Agency, whatever. You can kind of look this up, not FOIA Act, but FARA. Meaning any company, no matter who they are, corporation, have to file with our government that they are a foreign agent from another country, and that allows them to investigate if they're spies or whatever, or if they're running, like the DJI drones. We all got drones and they cut them out. We can't buy them anymore because of the way they can geofence locations and everything else. Well, anyway, she cut that out, and meaning there's no watchdog unless it's just something explicitly bad. All right, so let me take you here. Moving back forward, we had all that Charlie Kirk stuff. We had all this. But this new company is called something. I forget. I have it on my paperwork. But anyway, they filed that they're going to be here. And that company says from the Ministry of Israel. And then it said the origin company. So it's Israel's company. But here's the kicker. Here's what blew me away. Here's what I need to be careful for. And I'm going to be careful. So, and it's just what it is, okay? Candace then says, you all need, because they had to have a disclosure in this company had to, Israel, the country who owns this company, had to disclose all of the churches that are under their purview. Did you hear what I just said? All of the churches that are under their purview. And Candace was like, you need to see if your church is there. So anyway, she only put up some information. So I was able to do research, because this is what I do. I got the whole list. I got the document, the government document. It's in the places that we go to get our stuff. It was filed September the 25th or September whatever, 2025 at 3 a.m., 3:29 a.m., which you already know they was trying to hit the 333. They just didn't get it right, because that's what they do in the middle of the night for the magic of it. But when they listed the churches, which we had California, they had Texas, a lot of these who are in the states, they had right there in the documents, like 300 or 400 mega churches is under their money, is in their cabal, is in their whatever. And when I started looking up these big ass churches here in Dallas, like Concord, which is an all fucking black church, I was like, damn. Then Pastor Haynes Church, Friendship West, black church in the black name under Israel's command. And then the Potter's House shows up, T.D. Jakes' church. And I'm floored, because that was the church I was attending. They get funding from this. And the list goes on and on and on. People, this is why these things are talking about that the church, the religion was controlled and it is used. Remember I told you a long time ago, if you want to set up a fucking mousetrap, if you were after souls, if you were an entity and you wanted souls, the very trap that you do is you get a place where lost souls will come. And I'm not saying this is for every church. I didn't say this, because there are some good ones out there that are not under their regime. Okay. But if you want to catch a lost soul, build a mousetrap, build a place where the soul is going to come, and now you got them. And I'm telling you, look this stuff up. It will shock you. Now, I'm saying this because on October, whenever they're going to do this event, all these mega churches are going to tell their people to download this app. for this event, this parking lot event that's going to be nationwide. But it's also going to allow them to feed the propaganda right around the time the alien stuff drops to say aliens exist. They got to come back and tell everybody, blah, blah. So they need direct line of communication. They need the very device that is designed to fool, to disseminate information to you, to control you. We already know it hears your conversations, it do everything. The plan is right there in black fucking white. I know you can get in trouble for that because there's some people right now who walk in here and say, why did you bring up our church name and whatever it is? But I'm just telling you, it is real. It's in black and white. And somehow they have to reveal. And what they're about to do, you better get your ass protected is what I'm talking about. And it is real. So I'm not just bagging it up to sell you a moment, whether or not, because we are protected as a group, because my seal, the things that I put out here, right here, it's for us. And this is right here protecting my heart because I already know where my protection needs to be. So I understand the magic. I understand symbolism. I understand all of these things that are happening. And I'm on that journey. And it does extend to everyone who goes to those things. So real quickly, I put this out and I've been told not to do this. This is the book of sacred secrets, right? This has been in front of you all for a long time. The website I took down, I'm only put it back up for a day or two. So if you go to Truth versus Authority, I don't know if y'all can see that, but anyway, it's going to teach you the stuff you ain't supposed to know, okay? All of the different stuff. And it's just a download. I just put it in here. You can put it in here. It's the book of sacred secrets. So you can go today, and I'm going to take it down in the next day or so because it was been down because I was told to take it down. I'm just letting you know. So it's that Truth versus Authority. Let me edit that real quick because it needs to be edited. I got it spelled wrong, so they won't do y'all no good. Anyway, so Truth versus Authority. You can go there and let me put it back up and download it today. I'm just letting you know. I'm not playing with you. I'm just letting you know. Do it, don't do it. That is your free will. Get this information because there's a lot of stuff in there that's happening and whatever. So there is a plan, and they're executing that plan in plain sight. And there's people who walk around and don't. I'm just telling you. Devin and I was just talking, and we was listening to somebody else, and he was talking about, how we have two families, right? We have our spiritual family and our blood family. And he was like, the blood family is the family that you're born, you got your kids, you got everything. The spiritual family is something else. So it was the story about somebody telling on somebody. And he said, y'all don't know if that just because they're their blood family. And he said, blood family is reincarnation. We all reincarnated. He said, but the spiritual family, they could have been war. They could have killed each other. One could have did this. And all of a sudden now that person is born as their kid or maybe as your father, because in the spirit world and the blood world are two different things. He was like, so karma could be happening here for whatever happened in the spiritual world. And this is real stuff. This is real stuff. And y'all have heard me say that maybe sometime our kids are not ours. And I'm not saying they didn't come between your legs or my legs or through yours. No, they didn't come through mine. That's for damn sure. But you get what I'm saying. We're not saying that this didn't happen. You get what I'm saying? But it's weird when your kids look at you and say, they don't know you. They're not from here. What's going on? So it's enough for us to understand that high strangeness does exist. And it's something worth talking about when you're talking about these things. And so that's what I'm saying all across the board. All right. And so I'm telling you right now, I'm going to put back on the screen so you can screenshot this right now. Tomorrow at 7:00. Let me take this down, the banner down so you can see it. 8:00 tomorrow, we're going to do protection sigils. Screenshot this, make sure you come on in there. The price is worth it. And I'm going to give you a workbook, that you can use and fill it out. You can use it repeatedly to create all kinds of different sigils for different situations and symbols and everything that you need to protect yourself or whatever you want to put the intentions to tomorrow at 8:00. And you register pretty much from there. Outside of that, as you know, my book is out right now. And if you go to roderickmartin.com, you can be able to get an autographed copy. And I'm going to send all them out this week. And I got a few left here to send out to people. So if you want to support me there, you can do that as well. And last but not least, I'm just making these announcements. Then this weekend, they won't believe you, but we will believe you. Come and share your concept, your contact experience. Meet other people like you. We're talking about aliens, archons, paranormal. You can go to Inner Truth, where you can give us a donation if you want, or just show up and make sure you come out and have this experience. And so these are things I'm saying that you should do, want to do, and pretty much. And we got London in the house. What's going on? And so, but I'm telling you that it is real, people. It is real. And we're going to have a huge discussion about that this weekend of all of this, but pay attention to, all right, Devin. So pay attention to that it is happening. Something is happening, and they're preparing everyone for it. We talked about bunkers. I've talked to you about bunkers. And now we got videos coming out where these people are moving into these bunkers and all of this stuff. Now, I'm just telling you all of these things is what it is. But at the end of the day, we got to pay close attention to what we're doing. Okay. And I'm just excited to be able to give you my journey and be able to instill. And as we're going to grow our group, as we're going to grow our community, as we're going to create this energy ball, that at some point we can do an explosion. Some of the stuff that I taught in the reptilian rule, webinar of how to protect yourself, how to shoot the energy at them. It is now more apparent that what we're talking about. And when we get into our book club, that we're going to do this. So we're going to do a private somewhere with that, where we all can do this. It'll take us probably a year to go through this, but it'll be the best long teaching of truth that we're just going to go through. All right. And we're going to do it as much as we can. And so I'm just saying whatever. And yeah, you can make your own sigils if you understand the magic. That's it. And I'm going to teach you that. He's correct. UFO, AP UFO. I'm going to teach you how to create the magic and do that. I'm going to teach you how to do word sigils as well as symbolic sigils. Okay. And you can protect yourself at any time. And understand that this is not no fictitious thing. Symbols is the root of language. It's where the connection is before the conscious, is before words were even spoken. It is the language that can be programmed to you while you are walking through a mall, and you can be hearing, listening, and seeing and talking, but your mind can see the symbol, the sigil or the symbol, and it will imprint exactly what it means and want to program you to do, say, or think, because you don't see it and you can't see it. So I don't give a darn who says who they are. You can stand in front of me all you want. It says, oh, I can see it. No, you can't, because it's in the collective unconscious. You got to tap into it. And the only thing that can read it is your collective unconscious. Study it. Go to look at Carl Jung. Go look at all of these things. Go find out why you see certain symbols on the highway, different things that are activating things. They know this, and they've been knowing this for quite some time. And arrogance will get you in trouble today. That's all I'm saying, because I can feel the energy right now that there's a few people like, yeah. You too. I'm talking about you. And if you're hearing my voice, nothing just happens. You're supposed to be listening to it. So take that with a heed of advice, your own, do whatever, and you can then do whatever. But regardless, you learn it from me, go study it is all I'm going to tell you. Find out how to make it. Maybe the number 11 that I'm talking about, 47 or whatever it is, equals 11, the master number, because we know numbers now. We know what we're doing, okay? And so maybe that's just whatever. But if you're around me, you're going to know, and we're going to talk about that this Saturday too, and everything else. So let me get back to what I was saying. So at some point, apparently, there is a cabal of information that is going on that is about to change our world and way of life. And we're not just talking about you. We're not just talking about what you are prepared for, because if you are prepared for it, but then there's 10 million people around you, it's totally different. And as you know, we sold zombie kits. I have a company called Preparing This Life. I don't talk to you all about it, but online I sell bug out bags and kits and all of these things. I've done it before in the past, but somehow it's just a little too much information telling our audience all of this. But yeah, bug out bags. We have what, zombie bags, UFO bag. Now they're going to be really popular, right? And I'm telling people, get your stuff, get prepared, and understand that it may not never happen. But when did Noah build the ark? He actually built it before it rained. He actually built it before it rained. Why? How ingenious was that? He didn't build it after it started raining. He built it before it rained, when everybody was laughing at him, when everybody was saying, oh, he's crazy, he's stupid. Why are you building this thing? And he built it before it rained. Just let that be a philosophy. I'm not saying it's truth, but let the philosophy sink in and you do preparation and everything else. Okay. And so that's one of the things that you want to understand. And I used to have a company called For Real Group, and my slogan was when dreams and reality meet, it's for real. So understand that reality and your dreams are crossing paths right now and what people do. So let's get back to what I was talking about and why I think that we're hearing all of this chatter, about the governments and all the things that's going on and why they're preparing us. Because what would you do if an alien knocked at your door? That's my question of the day. That's my question that I'll pass on along with all of us in conversation. What would you do? Yeah, we're talking comedic form here. What would you do when that alien is sitting across your front yard? And then all of a sudden and remember Lou Elizondo talked about the muddy boot print theory. Let me explain that a little bit, which should have shook everybody and woke people up. And he's like, what if you wake up in the morning in your house and you got this muddy boot print in your house? What are you going to do? Your alarm system is on, everything is working. Then you step across the street or look across the street and you see this dark figure with these eyes and everything else. And you go and you boop, 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 turn on your alarm in the house because you're like, hey, and all it does is wave his hand like this and your alarm shuts off, like they turn off our nuclear weapons. And it just shuts off. You turn it back on and it shuts off. You go to sleep and you wake up and there's blue, and your alarm is still on, but there's muddy footprints all throughout your house. See, these are the things that we're not invincible from, where it's not like the protection is there. It is saying there's got to be something else somewhere else that will do this for you, and you want to think in those terms. So why are they preparing us for this? That is not to say that something is coming, but it also turns around that we have gas prices that is up to $5 a gallon now. I was just at the gas pump and my car used regular, my SUV, and I'm like, I remember I was proud when I bought it last year because it used regular gas. The gas was $2.29. And today it was $4.30 for regular. And they was really trying their best with the super unleaded. It was $4.99. And they were like, we just can't get $5 on it. We ain't gonna sell nothing. And they're like $4.99.999. They're gonna push it. It's gonna push. But then we start talking about currency. We start talking about all of these things that they will do. And all of a sudden, what he say? Vutu Smith said, $4.99, it will continue to rise. It's going to rise. And all it is the preempt to crash the economy and get people into digital economy, which was talked about a long time ago. And then at some point, they got the trick is done. They're going to reveal who owns Bitcoin. And when people find out, it's going to crash. They're going to reveal all of the digital currency, and people are, and we're fighting for that. We're wanting people to go there. So all the money that you have hidden under your mattress and all of that, they're getting ready to do away with that in the future, maybe in the kids' future or whatever. But why would they do that? Because they can control it. Then you go to those movies that we've been seeing, the one that Out of Time, where that you now just living with time, and when you expire, you die, and then of course you got to keep working. So then your money can only be in certain zones. You know what I'm saying? How about it when they control where you spend your money? When they can just turn it off and turn it on, because it's digital currency. Now we're falling for it. We're accepting it, but we don't have to, because right now that cash money, that other money you got and all that, and maybe, they get people like, the dollar ain't going to be worth nothing. No, you're fucking fool, because it ain't about what the dollar is going to be worth. It is what we perceive it to be and what is going to change when we're not using the physical fiat currency anymore. And I gave y'all the insight when I did the dollar bill approach thing that long ago. It's got millions of views over the last 2 weeks. And I was going to reveal part 2. And on part 2, on the front of the dollar bill, there is a symbol that told us that they was going to end. It's right there in plain sight. So they put all these messages hidden in plain sight because they got to do it. but we don't have to fall for it when we are knowledge and we know what we're going to do. So I know, let me get back to what I'm saying. I know you didn't come here to hear no money and crypto talk. That ain't what I talk about anyway. The thing about it, if the aliens knocked on your door, what are you going to say? What conversation you're going to have? The whole 9 yards and everything else. So I'm going to get back to what we're talking about. They are making a plan. And who is they? I'm not giving you Pacific because I don't know. It's a cabal. It's a whole conglomerate of them. It's a whole system that's been designed to not only keep us in the illusion and the perceived illusion that we're in, but it's designed whatever it is. And somehow our energetic form is forming, things are growing, whatever it is, those are things that have got to be happening across the board. And so therefore preparation is necessary. Now, I'm not telling you to fear. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying for preparation, because there's billions of people. There's a lot of transitional things that's going to have to happen, one domino after the next, after the next, after the next. But over time, you should be able to do it. And now, for some of you, if you're over 25, 30 years old, you're now talking about your children, people. You need to prepare the next generation because they play a long ass game. Don't get sold on the game that they play that's going to happen in 3 to 2 years while you here. They are doing thousands of years game because they not walking off linear time. Time doesn't exist in the world that they are playing with. In the astral plane, time doesn't exist. There's no clock. There is no or whatever. So they get to do whatever in that world to affect this world, and it's continuing. It's a continuation. It is totally going on all the time, parallel lanes and whatever. They're using the whole gamut of the book. And I talk about this in your book of Sacred Secrets, which you can go download it and pretty much. And then, like I said, when we do this book club, it is just tremendous when you read some of the stuff that they're talking about in here. And I just thought it was just blowing me away with some of the stuff that was being said. And I'm like, whoa. And like I said, it's worth for us going over to understand it, but it all plays down with the information that they are putting out and what we need to do and the truth of what's going on. And I'm not even going to break it to you what they start talking about the word magic in here and how certain words. And you know what? I would read this to you because I think this is really important. Let me find one section that is pretty cool. And it's very interesting because they start talking about how we should see words. And it was saying in here that there's words that we assign to things that is assigned to the material world. And when we assign certain words to the material world, that is us giving it meaning and giving it, and it's all in reverse and inverted anyway. But it says that we need to not fall for those deceptions because the word that comes out of the spiritual realm, the stuff that you get in your intuition wouldn't use words. It's going to use symbolism and symbols, but it's going to also not use the word in the worldly world, a realm that they have assigned stuff to. But we're not smart enough, or most people are not smart enough to understand the deception. So it tells you to be very leery. I thought that was a real good point, and I would love to, like I say, to just kind of go through all of that. So I think that it is important to I'm trying to find one of them in particular that they was talking about how even here it says Jesus tricked everyone. I'm not even gonna read that. That'll just y'all will get off the mic tonight. And then you'd be like, oh, I ain't listening to him no more. But we're just reading, we're searching for truth. I'm not telling you that it is law that I'm talking about and everything else, but it's definitely important to understand some of the things. But the thing that we're going to really focus on is the word etymologies and what is happening out there, because they have fooled us when it comes down to certain things of that. And so I just think it is something that, once again, that we pay close attention to. We begin to understand that there is some importance of knowing what is happening. And once we know what's happening, we are there on point to not only defend ourselves, but to understand, to be sovereign. I would say is probably the ultimate key. And being sovereign is going to be it. Now, having said this, is what would you do Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. What would you do if they knock on your front door? And yeah, of course they look like you and look like me. Then what? Does that soothe the savage beast? Does that make it make sense that because they got two eyes and they look like you, or maybe they're tall Nordic looking, or maybe they short dwarfs, or whatever, but they got this humanoid look? Is that going to answer the question? Would that be the first game to say because they look like us and blah blah blah, then their God is our God, or Jesus or Christianity is their revelation as well? Is that the plan? Because it's worth noting that there is a culprit plan being planned. And what are you going to do? We're not singing a song. What are you going to do when they come from you, bad boy, bad boy? We're not talking that one. We're talking, what are you going to do when they show up and it messes with your mind? And I've said it before, your eyes are useless when your mind is blind. You can't, I don't care what you see. I don't care what you are looking at. If your mind is blind, it is not going to be good. It's going to be distorted in every way possible. So open your minds, understand what we're talking about. And Jordan Maxwell said it. He said it a bunch of times and 100 times before. And I'm going to play it to you right now again of what he said. And here we go.
Live in peace and harmony. I think we're being set up for something very serious and very big by some very powerful secret societies that very well could have extraterrestrial or otherworld intelligence guiding it. I am very fearful for the world we live in because we bought it hook, line, and sinker, and all over the world we have accepted the authority as truth rather than truth as the authority. It is going to require intellect, knowledge, study, and making a stand for the first time not to accept the things which your government gives you, which your religions give you, and which the authorities give you. Because as far as I'm concerned, I have a very big problem with anyone called an authority, because they're always...
Now, was I inspired? Was I inspired from what he said and created an entire movement? Well, let me give you some honest approach here. I didn't find this clip until after I named our show Truth versus Authority. But I was reading all of his stuff and I got that embodiment in it that there is a rebellion of some type that needed to be done. And I had no clue that I was going to take it to that far. And then when I saw that clip one day, I was like, wow, Truth versus Authority is already there. And for a minute, it was about people in authority, like he was saying, or maybe we're believing the wrong things or whatever. But now it's the mind. They are controlling us from the mind. And it's very possible, like he said, that there's otherworldly things. Candace Owens is saying it now. Tucker Carlson is saying it now. There's Paula, whatever her name is the president's, counselor, Paula White. Right? Everybody knows. And she used to be at the Potter's house. I remember years ago when I went there, she always was a guest speaker. Now she walked away from this thing 2 days ago and posting that she saw something in some meetings that has terrified her ass, that they are planning some stuff not to affect a few people, but millions of people around the nation. And she said, this is not right. Something as big is happening, that the whole place is in chaos. They're saying that this man who's running it has a demon in him now. They're saying all of this stuff. It's leaking out the fucking office. It's everywhere. And that lets you know this principalities or whatever they're talking about, this thing is strong, it's powerful, it's out there, but it cannot defeat you in the mind if you're prepared and you're protected. That's one thing I'm telling you. That's one thing I'll point out to you. And hopefully you understand whatever is from there. And yeah, Jordan Maxwell is no longer with us. And and he left behind some great information. And that is something I wish that, but I have all this information. I told you I talked to his family and they gave me his files. I have all this research file. And what had me to slow down for a minute is he died a pauper, and they make sure that they crushed him financially. Same thing we just heard with the David Wilcox. They crushed him financially, and because that's where they're going to have the stronghold. And if you have organizations like we have and things we have, people are going to support you for the truth. Now I'm learning my lesson, and I'm like saying, and I'm totally grateful because I got some great people close to us that support what we do, financially support what we do. I do this full time. This is what I do. I don't make a lot of money from YouTube ads until our videos go up. And hopefully in a year or two, it's at a point where I don't ask for contributions. But I do because we're a community funded show and everything we do. Now, some sacrifices are made and is made by other people too to continue. But I'll be honest with you, if they turned around and said, we're not going to do this and do this, I wouldn't be here. And if I'm got connections, how many people I'm going to tell just from my room, maybe it's 2 or 3 people, people who know me, it's going to hear the things that I know that I'm plugged into, that I'm sharing with you. And if that's important to you, that's fine. But if it's not important to you, you might listen to another. But I do believe that we got to be careful because at some point they're going to have AI is going to replace some people. And that's why I try to do live, huggy, touch, love touching events, because simply it's because they can't AI that out. I'm not saying they can't clone some people, but they can't AI that out because at this point you're going to be touch feeling. But there are some of these people you're watching, you only watch them online, that they can easily at some point move them out of the way, put the AI in place of it, and continue delivering messages. And then ultimately, like a ship, change their messaging a little bit over time. And then you are now routed in a whole different direction. I'm just telling you what it is. Okay. And so I'll say this again, and I'm going to put it up now that I segue into the support. We've had probably 3 people that supported what we was asking for when I was asking for supporters, for the next 90 days, supporters, the backers and founders circles. We've had a couple of backers and some supporters. Blessing to you people that have done that. But I got other ones, y'all know who you are. They do a little more privately of what we do in our events. I'm not talking about that, but I'm saying that I did come out. I said, hey, there are some things changing, not only in my life, but what we're doing, and we needed help for the next 90 days. And it's important. Now, having said this is, some of these documents that I found, some of the things I found, I can go blurt these things out, and then tomorrow they can shut down a YouTube channel or they do whatever. We got to find other ways to communicate or whatever they do. That's what we're up against, talking to people. So I get it now when these people are coming up missing. I get it when I get when Candace Owens said she had to hire a security team to talk to us. She got children. Just yesterday, somebody peeped in and tried to open up a new insurance policy. And obviously they did it. And then when they do it, the car company automatically, for a security measure, says, is one of these your vehicle? Now, they gave them 5 choices. 5 choices. Is these your vehicles? Now, we've seen it before. You all have seen it before when you're applying for something, or they want to verify which one is your address. We think it's a security measure. But the people smart saying there's 5 choices there, and 5 of those choices, 1 is real or 2 is real. And 2 of her cars showed up on this thing, the car she's driving her kids around in. And you already know what she's talking about. This is how easy for these people to do what they do. And yet we're out here spilling the truth. We're doing what we're doing. So you get what I'm talking about, right? We understand what happened to some of these people and everything else. So I'm not saying that I am one of them. I am not reaching millions and millions of people for me to be detrimental of saying, yeah. I'm saying I still can give you some kind of truth with the little support that we have. I can do that. And that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying we take these things on with us, everything. But I'm saying it from the bottom of my heart for those 3 people who went to that Patreon and signed up to support us for the next 90 days. It is you that I am dedicating this moment to, because you have blessed me and blessed other people to be able to continue doing what we're doing. And I just love it. I love it all. And I love everything that we do and are doing from that standpoint. So, but as we continue, as you know, yesterday we were on the Forbidden Knowledge. We was there yesterday, and Brother Yosa, Dreamwise, and his wife, we had a great show. As you can know, that coming up in August here in Dallas, we're going to do the New Love Life, and that's August the 8th. So if you're going to come down and hear some stuff on why conscious people and what I think is an epidemic, that's just my words only, of finding love. And I'm part of that too, I should say. But at the same time, You can 8-8 on Lionsgate. We're going to have them here in Dallas. They're coming up. So we're actually the host organization. I'm actually emceeing with them and having some things to say, but they're coming and they love our facility, which I'm telling you to help support as well, that we have a great thing going on here, and we're going to dig in and we're having our movie nights. We got us a hot dog machine. We're going to have us some popcorn machine. We're going to build a real community of like you and like me. And then we can try to do it everywhere else. You can do it in Houston. You can do it in Atlanta. We're going to put our veil everywhere, and we're going to synergize this over time. So get ready to do that. But anyway, go to New Life. And in fact, I need to put the link in the description. It'll be there tonight of this event. It's in yesterday's video. If you go look at it, so you'll see it on the YouTube channel, but I'll put it in there today. You can click it and go and get your early bird ticket or live stream ticket. They're giving away some free gifts for the early bird tickets. And so you definitely want to go do it. And shout out to the people who got their tickets last night. Already it's in August. We know we made some impact. People buying tickets already. So imagine when it fill up, because we don't have a big room, maybe 100, 125, 50 people. We're going to fill this one because this is important. It's impactful. It is something that is happening from there. But back to what I'm saying is, again, my book is out. I have several copies right here to ship out this week. I still got some left that I'm personally signing, and I'm going to give you a special message from me when I see your name, and I'm just going to meditate on it, and I'm going to write something particularly for you, and my intuition has been good, and so I'm going to do that. But you can go right here to roderickmartin.com and order it with the shipping, and then I'll get it out to you, sign it for you, and everything can be personalized. And for those of you who are thinking about doing it in your conscious mind, I want to go ahead and thank you in your conscious mind. Maybe you can't do it in the physical world, but in the spiritual world, you can. And so I love you for it. I really do. I love you for it, because it is the support in this what we're doing, but also reciprocity. You're going to get some from it from there. All right. So the question of the day, once again, is to say, wait, what's the event? Oh, let me go back. So the event is in Dallas, and it's going to be August the 8th, and at 12 to 6. So we're going to be here for 6 hours. We're going to be hitting it up. So it's going to be location here in Dallas. And if love is waiting for you, they're going to talk about love and conscious love and how to not just manifest the love, but the whole 9 yards. So it's going to be a deep event, magical gathering and waking hearts to align. And I said it before that there's just this epidemic of woke people that are woke and everything else. And but we're designed for love, and that's what everything I put together is for love, and meeting people out of love, and great relationships, and I'm constantly building good relationships and meeting great people, and we're bringing a group of great people of synergy and all of this together. And maybe at some point you can't sit under that tree and ground with your boo, right? And so that'll be something that you would do, hug a tree together. Might be you get over here, they get over here, y'all hug a tree together. And may be the greatest thing. All right, so what are you going to do when they knock on the door? What are you going to do? What are you going to do when the truth hits? Is it going to affect your pocketbook? Is it going to affect your mind, your psychic? Okay, yeah, you ready. Maybe you are ready to say, okay, I accept that alien life exists. But what about your neighbor? What about the person down the street? Is there going to be a rebellion? Is people going to take out their guns and start shooting at these things, or people, or whatever? Because they're already more intelligent. They got better technology. They're not going to let us just wipe them out. But why is our government doing it is the question. See, I just gave you a bunch of what, but the question is why. Why is always the most important thing. Why now? Why are they doing it now? What are they preparing for? Is it a false flag? Is it Project Bluebeam? They've been talking about this forever. Or are they about to activate it because they know the number one fear is it? Yeah, okay, they got flat earthers. They got people saying there's an ice wall. They got people saying it's firmament. They got people saying space doesn't even exist. If none of that exists, is it in our minds? Is it in our minds? Is it what David Icke's been talking about, this perception reality? Are we perceiving? Are you seeing me because I'm projecting this to you? Now, I already know I'm infinite conscious and awareness. that I'm living the experience of what you're seeing now, and we can change that. And any of us that's in an energetic field together, we have already decided that nothing just happened. You decided long time ago in another life, whatever, that you and all of us is going to be right here present together today. That was already done. Our energies matched long time ago in certain ways or not. And so what do? We either come together, try to remember what we're supposed to together, and then we can change all those things, or you can come back and keep being reincarnated over and over and over and over and over. There's something there, and so what do we need to do? So let's always explore why we have our relationships. Why are we in each other's spaces? I'm not talking about the chaos shit, the ones that I wish I hadn't met you, shouldn't have met you, wouldn't have met you, whatever the situation may be, whatever it is. I get that part. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a few other things. And as we get into the top of the hour, we're doing our 5 for 5. We'll be getting out of here in about 4 to 5 minutes. I'm just keeping our movement of doing something. Tomorrow, we'll be here at 5 o'clock again. And then 8 o'clock, we will do our SIGIL protection webinar. It's a paid webinar, and you are supporting the cause of what we're doing. And then we'll be back Friday. But I'm going to take us on this journey for the next several days of going and exploring all of this UFO messaging things that are out here, and aliens coming, and the priesthood and all of these things, and why they are preparing stuff for us. I just don't get it. I don't get it to reason why they're just playing with the religious side of it. I do get the control factor of it. I do get it, but they're putting a lot of risk on the table right now, people. And it ain't by their happenstance. Something else is pulling that string, okay? Something bigger, stronger, more emotive, emotional, powerful, whatever is saying we need this reveal or these things to become prevalent in the minds of these people. And so we need to find out what it is. If it's some energetic form, like they're saying, that is not human, by the way, it is not human, then we need to protect ourselves in the other realm, is what I've been telling you. That's all I'm saying. I think we're there. Golden Sunkiss said, I would like to attend it. Let me put it on the screen for you. I'm gonna let you screenshot it. Come to the webinar. Here you go, right there. All right, so screenshot this. That's with the the web address right there. We'll be at 8 o'clock tomorrow, and then come on board. And like I said, I'm going to give you a downloadable workbook that's in that. It's already uploaded. And then I'm sending, I'm a few days behind for people who did the reptilian thing rule. I'm going to send yours, the bonus thing to create your energy ball, to send it out. So you'll see the reptilians. You'll get that Friday. Okay. So I meant to do it Monday, like I promised, but I had to change it into a PDF, that particular part, which I've done it now. I'll email it out. I have to do it one by one. But this new one, the workbook, is already loaded. So during the webinar, you'll be able to download it at some point and keep it and reuse it and be able to do all those things. And so, they do. They want to keep fear alive. We're not working off of that. We're going to work on a whole different process, and that is having a better understanding. And if you have a better understanding, and if TK was here today, she would say understanding, overstanding, jump standing, left standing, right standing, backward standing. Everybody's, it's all changed to me, but at the end of the day, you'll be able to do that. So with that being said, we're at the top of the hour. Hopefully you got some volume value out tonight. I'm gonna be eating my grapes here. And wow, he wasted on my computer. Whoa, we washed the grapes. Like I said, if you go to truthversusauthority.com for the next 24 to 48 hours, you'll be able to download the Book of Sacred Secrets, where I have all the secrets. You can't really see it because the light of the camera, that's fine. And also, I got an email yesterday, okay? As y'all know, that the Jackson 5 movie is out, okay? The Jackson 5, or Michael Jackson. I don't know if you've seen it and want to go see it or whatever. About last year, I had the gentleman on who was the son of the Shalites, okay? And he told us about some rituals and things that Joe Jackson and all they did, that he witnessed as a kid with his father, who his father was in the organization with them and sung and all this stuff. A lot of people said he was nuts. but he gave his points. He was working on a book. He released a book, happened to put my picture on the back cover of his book because he was on our show. And he was on one of the more private shows or whatever. But anyway, now that the Jackson stuff came out, so I get an email yesterday from the Jackson family. Yeah, and they wasn't too pleased about having him on the show. And it wasn't no short one. It wasn't no make-believe. They went into particular details and explicitly told me who they were, and I need to contact them and all this. So I'm like, man, wow, did I make it? I'm on the radar, or whatever, Now, of course, I'm not a Tasha K, so I don't know if I'm gonna have some legal ramifications or whatever, and believe it or not, ain't like I got a Tasha K audience where my audience is really donating and we can fight a legal battle like that. So if they tell me to take the videos down, I'm gonna take them down, plain and simple, until we build. And I won't buy out and bow down so quickly as truth versus authority. If it's true, we're gonna keep it on the website and we're gonna fight back. But right now, we wimpy, or hefty, or whatever the story is. But yeah, but I got a long email, and I read it to a friend of mine, and Judith, I'm gonna call her tonight. She's on here, and I'm gonna read it to her, and of course, Devin and all, our inner team, because I like for them to know what we have done, the lives that we've touched, because we touch lives. And yeah, so the Jackson family said, hey, we need you to blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, must be some truth. Must be. So that's the world that we in. That's the world that we are. But you can go look it up. I haven't taken it down. I'm not going to take it down no time soon, unless they come and serve some papers and be like, hey, you need to take that down or what else, or whatever. But I did need to talk to him. I mean, he put me on the cover, so that's how they found me. So obviously they found his stuff and pretty much, and on the back cover, by the way. And so, yeah, I know, Mars, I'm with you the same thing, Marla, because it must be some truth, because they politely trying to say, and they're doing damage control. So that goes to show you that could be some truth, right? They're doing damage control. And so having said that, that's it. But am I honored, whatever, to meet the family and it wasn't their representative, it was their family, and I'm not going to call out exactly, but I will make contact back like they want and all of this stuff. And yeah, and they said when they trying to protect their family and people that are doing this stuff, allowing their stuff to go and blah blah blah. So they was kind of polite though, a little bit, and again, it wasn't no short form stuff. It was meticulously written and personally written with a lot of energy and sincerity, but also with subtle threat and everything else. So I'm down with the program. Okay, that's cool. We would do that. And I get emails and stuff all the time, and so this is the line of work that I'm in. And so which has inspired me for a new ideal and something that's going to be what I call the Holy Grail or Mona Lisa, and I haven't even discussed it with anyone, and I'm not going to no time soon, unless you're just really in our inner circle. But we're getting ready to do something that's going to change the world between now and next year, and everything we do leads to somewhere anyway. But the goal is to be independently solvent, and again, we're earning and making our own monies and finances and everything else. So we do maintain our independent journalism style that we're going to be doing, and everything else. We are a nonprofit now. I have not told everyone. So when you do give, I can give you some information. Just quote that. So yeah, we are a nonprofit, and so we, and to teach some of the stuff that we do. And so kudos to that, to let you know this is how seriously we do what we do. And so that is so great to do. So we're going to move in those areas. But anyway, it is 4 minutes after the hour. And I love this 5 o'clock stuff, because when I'm done, I'm done. Otherwise at 8 or 9, 10. And so now I'm just going to be feeling my fingers like, oh, I'm done. And I'll put some stuff up and everything else. So with that being said, love you. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow at 5 and then 8 o'clock for our webinar. And then we will move from there. Okay. Y'all take care.
UFOs.
UAPs.
Unidentified anomalous phenomena.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Who are they? Where are they from? And what is their intent?
All questions that immediately come to mind with the mention of UFOs.
A Pentagon report is detailing a dramatic increase in UFO sightings, more than 350 since 2021. Many of them are explained as being drones, birds, or weather events, but about half of them remain unexplained.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
This video taken by the Navy showing what he describes as pyramid-shaped UFOs flying over the USS Russell off the San Diego coast in July of 2019. The Pentagon has since confirmed that the video is authentic.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection. Late this afternoon, a bulletin from New Mexico suggested that the widely publicized mystery of the flying saucers may soon be solved. Army Air Force officers reported that one of the strange discs had been found and inspected sometime last week. Our correspondents in Los Angeles and Chicago have been in contact with Army officials endeavoring to obtain all possible late information. Joe Wilson reports to us now from Chicago. The Army may be getting to the bottom of all this talk about the so-called flying saucers. As a matter of fact, the 509th Atomic Bomb Group headquarters at Roswell, New Mexico, reports that it has received one of the discs which landed on a ranch outside Roswell. The disc landed at a ranch at Corona, New Mexico, and the rancher turned it over to the Air Force. Rancher W.W. Brazil is the man who discovered the saucer.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
More people are coming forward with their own sightings.
Videos recorded by U.S. Navy personnel have added a new layer of evidence to the current national debate about UFOs.
Right at that moment, I saw what looked like 5 lights flying in formation in kind of an inverted check mark.
The NASA independent study team did not find any evidence that UAP have an extraterrestrial origin. We don't know what these UAP are.
The mysterious flying objects are still a mystery. NASA will continue investigating them and has appointed a director of UAP research.
Technology that we faced was far superior than anything that we had.
Hey man, look at the fly